Honestly, it's been a journey. I have to make this move in like less than 90 days. Try to negotiate with the leasing office to see what type of deal we can get. I'm clanking everything with this camera. But it's been a wild journey being in Dallas already for 2 years. To be honest, it's kind of wild. It felt like just yesterday leaving New York, having to say bye to all my friends. Um, I always say I don't like it here in Dallas. It's not my cup of tea. Yes, I love the space. I love the breeze, the weather. I love a lot of what Dallas has offered, but it doesn't feel like home. When it comes to people, culture, restaurants, life itself on a regular week to week basis, I haven't found a core of friends. Back in New York, I had a lot of people who helped me with creative projects, photo shoots, any ideas that came to mind. And it was fun because if I needed help shooting content, I had somebody for that. But me and my wife got engaged and I needed visuals, I had somebody for that. If it came down to it, when I was really down bad and moved out of my parents' crib at first and didn't have a formal job, I moved out without having a job. I had people who put me on to gigs. I was a contractor. I lived like that for I think like a year and a half. And it's just amazing to see what the power of community can do. So now having a community out here, like a strong one. Of course, we meet people and they've become a part of our lives, but it just can't compare to that season of life where it just felt impossible to lose because of how much help I got from people. I definitely think it's God's way of transitioning us out from, having our hands out to being the ones where we're leading in that. We're leading in Bible study in our building. We're leading in what it looks like to be a married couple, being independent in ourselves. And so, through all the changes we've been through, it definitely brought us closer together of understanding each other more, communication, having honest conversations of our expectations from each other. And so instead of being individuals, because we're both born and raised in Brooklyn, it created this level of dependency in a healthy way for us both. But to think of having to move out of this building after 2 years, and my biggest hope was that after 2 years, I would be in a place where we could move back to New York and not even think about money, not even be a reason why we wouldn't move back. And my business has literally tripled in growth coming here because I'm able to focus, not friends to hang out with. And so it's good that it's tripled. I have to acknowledge the growth and I praise God. That's just His grace and mercy to allow my business to literally triple in number. But it's not enough. And that kind of messes with me because it's like I put all this effort, I see the results, but it's not enough to get back to where I really want to be, where my heart is still at. And it messes with me sometimes. It makes me question if I am enough as a husband, if I'm enough as a coach, and you play the comparison trap and you see other coaches who are just killing it, but I know I have something unique. Every time I talk to my clients and I ask them for testimonials, I get good feedback about what I can improve in my systems, my program. I love critique because I'm a former athlete. And as an athlete, that's the only way your game gets better. When coach puts that film on and it's time to be on that chopping block, you know, you getting your butt chewed out, pause. That's what it comes down to. Critique will only get you better. And so with the critique I gotten from my clients, my customers over the year, I only look to it as growth. And so now it feels like I've done well, but it doesn't feel like it's good enough. And I know it's good enough because every time I share it, anytime I've given it out, it's been transformative. It's not just seeing people lose a couple pounds. That's what it looks like on the outside, but on the inside, it's people finally finding the confidence that God meant for them. To see someone come in being doubtful and feeling insecure about their gifts, their talents, their body, and then leave knowing that they're made in the image of God truly, and feeling that physically manifested is the most incomparable thing. That is my favorite thing to see. And whether that's on a free basis or paid basis, because that happens sometimes on calls, it doesn't mean that someone always signs up with me and it's a transactional thing where they give me their money. But the simple fact that they found value in it means so much, and it's affirming that I'm on this right path, that I am fulfilling God's calling to be able to change people's life and how they see themselves, how they see their faith, how they see nutrition and fitness through a godly lens. And it's not just saying my body's a temple, but deeper than that. I really think what I have is special, and I truly believe in it. And I don't know where it's gonna end me. You know, I have to double down on it. The beginning of the year was off to a fast start, and so things slowed down last month. I had a staff member quit on me. That was a pivotal role to that big hot start in the beginning of the year, and that crushed me. That sent me into a real downward spiral, just questioning if I'm good enough. When things slow down, it just feels like, am I really on the right path? Am I really doing what it needs to do? But when I post and I see the numbers, when I talk about the struggles of lust that I've been in, I've been conquered and mastered. It's almost like a wink from God of like, nah, just keep going. But when you get the feedback of life, I mean, right now having to move and not being able to go back to New York and have like that height lifestyle and being able to afford it without thinking too much about the money. You know, we just came out of taxes, and these taxes, I think we saved 50% on taxes compared to New York, and that's just a financial advantage. But I don't want to live my life off of money, because I think that some of the people back home, they don't understand. Sometimes it's like, yes, I live in a beautiful apartment. This whole high rise is like one of the only high rises in all of Dallas. Trying to even catch the whole thing. That is beautiful. That is great. I'm blessed to have a beautiful home to stay in with beautiful neighbors. But what's a mansion worth if you have nobody to invite over? It's not like I have 4 or 5 people, got some couples. It's cool, but it's not the same. What's the point? I could have everything. I could have every dollar. But if I can't spend it with the people that mean the most to me, it just makes me think like, what is it really all for? And so I have this deep inkling that if I can see this through, I think somewhere somehow it makes a change. I don't know how exactly. I think God ultimately has the formula of what that looks like, but I gotta keep going. Where I'm at right now, we've taken over 30,000, I think, out investing into our businesses. We spend about 2,500 every month on business services, investments, and sometimes I feel like there's no end to it. I don't know where the end is gonna be, and it takes so much, not just financially, but the mental and emotional capacity of always have to pour in another one. I don't know where it's gonna end up, but I know this is where God called me to be. I double checked, I prayed, I'm like, is it quits? And it's not done yet. The job is not finished. So I can only be obedient and just give God an opportunity to be God right now. I can only give him an opportunity. It doesn't look promising. It was a hot start, then it slowed down, don't know why. Things aren't looking amazing, and I know sometimes it's just I just want to win so bad all the time. But I gotta let God be God. I gotta give him an opportunity to show up and be a miracle. How can it be a miracle if I want to control the situation so much? And I think that's been one of my biggest issues of, man, if I keep showing up and putting my hands on everything, where does God go? Where does he fit in that equation? And so it's this beautiful dance of hunger, passion, seeing growth, wanting more, but knowing he has some stuff in place. So I just want to get better. But it doesn't matter how long it takes. I mean, I'm really catching this so that I can look back and be like, man, I stuck through. I stuck through it. I didn't quit. I real life stuck through it and did my part to seeing it actually happen. Cause I could quit, but I don't really respect quitters. Not gonna lie. There's there's so much opportunity for success. When I see folks kind of just question if it's worth it, taking a leap of faith, 100% in, 2 feet in, doesn't mean that it's pretty. It doesn't mean that things will be all cutesy and perfect, but it definitely does mean that it'll be worth it. So I could just only ask and pray that He has mercy on me, that He has mercy to see me for where I'm at, to continue meeting me, having grace, and ultimately seeing His vision come into fruition. That's the biggest blessing, you know? Seeing God and what He called me to do and seeing the impact, seeing the end to it. I think a lot of times people do. People do that. They choose and pick where that looks like. But when it comes to finances and profession and jobs, they don't really let him cook. If a couple's trying to get pregnant, they'll keep shooting. They keep shooting in faith. Your husband keeps shooting the club up, and one day she gonna get pregnant, and they give God an opportunity to show up. Same thing with housing. Same thing with all the different areas. But when it comes to the security of our livelihood, that's the tough part. So I'm excited to see what He has to offer. I'm here for it. I want this to be the road of retiring my wife. That's what I want this to be. My wife has an amazing vision herself. It's called First Generation Healed. Check it out. I love how number I want it to be optional. I don't want it to be pressure. I want her to be able to do it. I want to be able to fund her dreams. And I know it doesn't necessarily mean that everything will be better, but I love seeing my wife happy. I love seeing my wife happy. And I need to figure out what's the number to be able to retire her. Probably like 85K. So I would have to make, what, I think like 300K a year. But whatever the number, I'm not scared of it. I can definitely show up and do my part. But there's gonna be a time, an opportunity, and chance. I don't think any opportunity is permanently gone once it passes you by. There's gonna be a next one. I know there's gonna be a next opportunity. When that opportunity shows up, I want to make sure I'm ready. I'm gonna do everything in my power to make sure that I'm able to show up, fulfill it, walk in it 100%. But until then,